Much and many. Two of the things that lots of people get wrong. Now, today I'm going to tell you why we use one and why we use the other. It's to do with whether you can count something or not. Now, if you get this right, then you've pretty much nailed English grammar. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a really great trick in which how you can remember which one to use. And it really works. Stick around. Countable and uncountable nouns. This is one of the key things to know, to be able to use much or many in the correct way. So, recognizing countable nouns and uncountable nouns is crucial, really. It's very important. So, first of all, let's just have a quick look at much and how you say it. Much. This is the it's a very strong sound, like up, an umbrella. Much. Then we have this ch sound at the end. Okay? Just make sure you practice a little bit to get it right. And many. Many. We've got this sound and this e. Short e sound at the end. Much and many. Right, so countable nouns. Let's have a look. Objects that you can count. Okay? Objects or items that can be counted. And this is why it's very important to just understand this is a simple difference between the two. So, displaying both singular and plural forms. So even if it's something that can be counted and there's one of them, remember that if there's many of them, using many there, you will be able to just add a plural form to it. And you'll find that uncountable nouns don't have a plural form, but we'll come to that in a minute. So, no measurement needed, for example, you see. Dog. We have this sound, dog, singular, dogs, plural, all right? I'm just going to go through a couple of them. I know it's simple, but it just gives you the context. So, idea, ideas, all right? One idea, many ideas. Window, one window, many windows, okay? Here we are, plural here. Okay, moving on to uncountable nouns. Here we have substances, concepts, entities, which cannot be counted individually, okay? Now just think about what you're talking about and you'll know what you have to use. So it's lacking a plural form in that sense. Things like oxygen, happiness, furniture, okay? You can't say oxygens, all right? You have to say how much oxygen is left. You need a unit of measurement, so you need to be able to measure it. You can measure how much oxygen there is. You can measure happiness, maybe it can be done. Furniture-wise, remember, you can say that you have furniture. How much furniture do you have? I have a lot. I have a little. If somebody says, how much furniture do you have? You can't say, 10. It doesn't work. If somebody says, how many chairs do you have? Then you can say, I have 4 or 5 or 10. All right, so this is what we're talking about. So happiness, furniture, information, again, can't count it. Can't say informations. You can't say furnitures. Just doesn't work. Right, let's have a quick look. You heard me the way I was saying these words, but let's just see why and how. So, furniture. 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 Try it. Furniture. Happiness. Happiness. Again, this stress at the beginning of the word. Happiness. Time. So, again, tricky one, this one. Because we can't say how many time, but you can say it in another way, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So time, how much time do you have? Measurable, okay? I have an hour, all right? For example, I have 2 hours. So what about when we can say times, but we're talking about something different? How many times did you do something? It's different. We're not talking about the immeasurable concept of time, talking about something else. Be careful with that one. Okay, so let's expand a little bit on many and the use of and much and many. So many, for example, let's start first. With countable nouns indicates a large number of things. So, for example, she collected many shells at the beach. So we're talking about the number was large, larger than normal, okay? Many tourists visit the city. See the city, city. Starts at the beginning, city. Many tourists visit the city every year, so we're talking about larger numbers, okay? How many exercises do you complete? When you're talking about the question form, how many, you're asking actually for a number. You're asking for a counted number then, okay? How many did you complete? Complete. Stress on the second part of the word, E. So how many exercises did you complete? You're expecting someone to say 5, 6, 7, whatever, 100, maybe. So number 2, much with uncountable nouns refers to the large amount of something typically not countable. Okay, it's similar to what we just said. There isn't much interest in the proposal. 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 This is this schwa sound, o-zal. It comes up a few times in the word, proposal. There isn't much interest. 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 Nice and quick, you see? In the proposal. So, isn't much interest. There isn't a lot of interest, you can also say. How much attention do you need? Attention. This comes up twice, look, this sound. Attention. Do you need? How much attention do you need? Question. Attention again, can't be counted. He doesn't spend much energy on trivial matters. Energy. E-N-G. Energy. Energy. Practice. He doesn't spend much energy on trivial matters. Okay, again, energy, not something you can count. Something measurable, all right? So remember, all the slides that we've got on this video today, you can get on that eye by clicking the eye up there. There's also a test on there that you can test yourself on everything that we've looked at today. Also, if you're on a tablet or a mobile, you'll find that link in the description area below the video. So let's have a look at some examples then. And we'll try and talk you through these and to show you pretty much how it works. Just let's take the first sentence. So first of all, let's get the pronunciation out of the way. Auditioned. This or sound, nice and long, the dots here, look. Or, and then we have the stress, auditioned. 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 Talent. Stress here, nice big sharp talent. And then again, because this is not the one stressed, this little sound comes in. This sound is always found when there's not a stress, a lot of the time, in sentences and also in words. So, let's look at the whole sentence then. Many actors auditioned, but there wasn't much talent. So why do we use many here? Why do we use much here? What do you think? Well, actors, we can count them. 1 actor, 2 actor, 3 actor, right? So many actors auditioned, but there wasn't much talent. Can you count talent? No, you can't. Can you measure it? Yes, you can. So it's the difference between can you measure or can you count. If you get that right, like I told you at the beginning of the video, you've nailed that part of grammar and pretty much the biggest part of the English language that you need to get your head round. So, he has visited many countries, but hasn't learned much about their cultures. Study the sentence. He has visited many countries. Countable. Okay, how many countries are in Europe? How many countries are there in the world? But hasn't learned much about them. Learning is something that can be measured but not counted. So I haven't learned much, or he learned a lot, for example, we can say as well. We'll come to that in a minute. Let's look at the next one. How many pages have you read? Not much content seems to be absorbed. How many pages? So again, pages you can count, how many, and then you can say not much content. Content-wise, this word content, again, it's measurable, but it's not countable. You can't count content. This doesn't work. The word content is actually a different word completely. It means what's in something. Okay, so look at the next one. There are many solutions to the problem, but much work is still needed to find the best one. Right, let's just quickly look at some of these. Let's go back actually and look at this. Absorbed or absorbed. And then we've got problem, which I think you know. Find has this I sound. And remember, past of read is read. So that's also something to remember. So there are many solutions. How many solutions have you got? We have 3 solutions. 1, 2, 3, many, countable. Much work. You can't count work, you can only measure it. So if you can measure it, it's much. It's very simple. If you just think in those terms, you'll always get it right. Okay, as with many grammar points, there are always common mistakes, but we're going to go through a couple now to make sure that you can avoid them and you don't repeat them. So these common mistakes are, there are much options to consider. Options we can count, remember, so it doesn't work. There are many options to consider. Consider. Stress on the second part. Consider. Incorrect. This is another mistake. How many relaxation did you get over the weekend? How many relaxation? Doesn't work. The only way this would work is if you put techniques or something after. How many relaxation techniques did you use? You can put it that way, but when you're looking at the word just relaxation, something that you can't count. So we would be putting how much relaxation did you get over the weekend? And let's have a look at this word. You've probably heard the way I said it. And it's a strange word because there are actually a couple of points where you do a little bit of stress. So relaxation. But you still have this re. So it's not like it's relaxation, it's relaxation. So this is like a major stress, but this is a small one. Just good to know when you're saying the word relaxation. Okay, let's have a look at some interactive questions, and these will help you just kind of place the words where they should be and just practice what you've seen. So let's go through them together. I'll read the sentence, I'll miss out the gap, and then you will place the right word, and then we'll see why we chose the one that we did. So, how friends do you have at school? How friends do you have at school? You can count this, right? So it's many. Correct. How many friends do you have at school? Because you can count your friends. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 friends. Number 2. We don't have information. We don't have information. Can you count information? We can't. You can measure it only sometimes. So it's much. We don't have much information. And here we have information. Again, the sound information. This sound actually comes through here as well. Information. Okay. On this topic, excuse me a little bit there. So there were birds in the garden this morning. There were birds in the garden this morning. Can you count birds? Yes, you can. There were many birds in the garden this morning. Number 4, she didn't eat during lunch. She didn't eat during lunch. So what do we put here? Are there any things that we can count in that sentence? There's not. So we have to write, she didn't eat much during lunch. Because you can't really count the eating. You can't say how much you ate. You can't say how many you ate. For example, if you can say things, I ate, how many apples did I eat? But we don't have apples, we don't have steaks, we don't have anything here, we just have nothing. So we have to work with what we have. So she didn't eat much. All right, if there's nothing countable in there, nothing you can count, then much is what you use. So how times have you visited this museum? How times have you visited this museum? Many, because times you can count. Now, remember I said a few slides ago that time's a difficult one, because it is. Because time itself is how much time do you have. But times have you visited? I visited the museum 3 times. You see, we're talking about the amount of times you've done something, not the measurement that is time, okay? So that's why you have to be careful with that one. Okay, let's look at some more. Right then, so number 6, there isn't enthusiasm for the new project. There isn't enthusiasm for the new project. Can you count enthusiasm? You can probably measure it. So it has to be much. Let's look at this pronunciation because it's a big word. So just to make sure you can practice it and get it right. So enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. E-A-E. See? Enthusiasm. Try it after me. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. See? You can practice it. It comes to you after a while. But even natives sometimes, when you say things over and over again, you start to wonder if it's actually a word. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Number 7. People know the secret in that magical trick. Magic trick, sorry. People know the secret, that magical trick. How can you work out what to say? Because you can count people. So it must be many. Many people know the secret to that magic trick. Number 8. I didn't have difficulty solving the puzzle. I didn't have difficulty solving the puzzle. Difficulty can't be counted, so it has to be much. I didn't have much difficulty. Right, remember, you can get these slides that we said before. You can get the slides, you can go to the I, you can go to the link below, do the test, watch the video again, pause it, listen again, go back, do however you want to do to make sure you understand things. So if you want to take the level test, remember it's going to come up here on the video, and you can take that, find out what your level is in English, and actually each time you watch our videos and take the test, you'll notice a little bit of an increase. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go over it again, remember, practice, practice, practice. See you next time.